Hello, I'm Emma Hammett from firstaidforpets.net. And today I'm going to talk about how to keep your pet well and warm over the winter, how to avoid hazards such as rock salt poisoning and antifreeze, which are serious poisoning hazards for your pets this time of year. How also to stop them from getting hypothermia and prevent that, and recognising that frostbite and the best way just to keep them safe and avoid any of these problems. So first of all, rock salt and antifreeze poisoning, they are serious, and in severe cases it can kill your pet. In fact, antifreeze poisoning is an extremely common cause of fatality for dogs. What happens is they lick the antifreeze from the puddles because they're thirsty and it tastes sweet and they love it. There is an antidote, but the antidote has to be given more or less immediately. It's IV ethanol, and you have to give it quickly. Signs and symptoms that they might have drunk antifreeze are, they might appear sort of drunken behaviour, nausea, vomiting, diarrhoea, vomiting, seizures, and then falling into a coma. I mean, the key thing is don't wait for any signs and symptoms. If you suspect that they've licked from a puddle this time of year and you think it's quite likely that that puddle might contain antifreeze, get them seen at the vet quickly. Similarly with rock salt can make them very, very ill, and in the most serious cases it can cause irreversible kidney damage. What tends to happen is they have been out walking and they get the rock salt or grit stuck in their paws and they lick it. And when they're licking that off, that's when they ingest the rock salt and it makes them so ill. You need to get them seen at the vet quickly, but it is serious for them. It's a serious poison. Always clean their paws as soon as you get in from a walk. If you're doing that sort of thing, washing them thoroughly, cleaning them, check between the claws, check that there's nothing caught up in there, particularly with grit in this time of year, and when they're out and about in snow as well. Just make sure you're checking their paws particularly carefully and drying them really well too. Keep them warm. Think carefully about your pet. Think about how thick their fur is, and imagine if you had to go out with fur on that was their sort of thickness on a really cold day in bare feet. So if it is too cold, you may be better not to walk them in the really severe cold. Think of their paws. A lot of dogs will wear booties nowadays, and they will have coats on as well. Be particularly careful about ponds. Every year dogs go through the ice, and quite often humans end up following them. Often the dog survives and the human is the one that perishes. So just keep them on a lead when you're anywhere near sort of thin ice and ponds as well this time of year. When you're travelling, have a blanket in the car, and don't ever leave them alone in the car. It's just as important in the winter as it is in the summer. And keep them well hydrated. We think far more about hydration in the summer, but actually getting dehydrated in the winter, particularly with the heating on and things, it's really easy to get dehydrated. If they're dehydrated and they're thirsty, they're more likely to be drinking from puddles and drinking from places that aren't good for them to drink from. So always have some water for them out when you're out and about. I hope that's been helpful. There's loads more on my site about this and lots of links to articles where I've gone into more detail on things like the poisoning side. Thank you for listening. That's Emma Hammett from First Aid for Pets. And if you like this, please share it.